Is K-pop really problematic? Should fans stop to listen? In this video, I will discuss some narratives behind the critique of the K-pop industry and how Orientalist thought guides this analysis. Hi, I'm Ricky, I'm a music journalist. This video is part of the K-Influencer program, and for this month I was planning to talk about how I use it to listen and review K-pop, but I got into this video from Zoe Unlimited called K-pop is Destroying Your Brain, which discuss some things that I want to talk about. I don't want to play the K-pop lawyer, because it's very important to consume things critically. That's my biggest defense, but I think there is better ways to handle some things. So let's discuss a little more about it. Come with me. At this point, I think everyone knows the
dark side of K-pop.
Like all the exploitation, controversies, and how difficult it is to be an idol. We often read news from some agency being lax with their group. Every K-pop fan hates the agencies and they are always asking for better treatments for idols. The point is, it's not something that no one is talking about or the hidden truth. In the 2010s, when the Korean wave reached the mainstream media in the United States and Europe, journalists and scholars ran to publish about the Korean invasion and to debate if K-pop was authentic and creative enough. An article from 2012 that is still remembered today is the New York Factory Girls: Cultural Technology and the Making of K-pop by John C. Brook, which uses all the common problematics we heard until today. Around 2019, with the smash global popularity of BTS and the reports of Jonghyun and Sully, this subject was very debated and still attracts much interest, starting with the antagonism us versus others. Talking about popular music, it's hard not to start from the American industry, because this notion of music industry started with them, and until today they remain as the most powerful and influential in the world. I don't like to make the comparison between American pop and K-pop, because it seems like a dispute between who is more rotten, but when they place one against the other, the contradictions and problems of the discourse are revealed. In my view, the biggest issue about the comparison is that we are so immersed on the Western ideology that we tend to be more sensible about the Asian particularities. The K-pop issues are a reflection of Korean society with its history, economic and current policy. The same applies for any other country. And to address the complaints, we need to be fair about things. For example, Korean beauty standards were not created by the K-pop industry. Most from long ago and not so different from the rest of the world, such as thinness and light skin. Some of them, like the eyes and the nose shape, are directly affected by the Western standards, but still the ones obsessed with beauty and personal image are the Koreans. And this logic happens because the common criticisms doesn't study the roots of the problem or takes into account the material conditions of that society. In the end, the problem is the Koreans themselves, a logic based on the yellow peril, a way to dehumanize Asians as a danger to the West. So the negative stigma from K-pop industry becomes a justification to show how harmful for Western fans the consumption of Korean culture would be. And no, I'm not saying that we should normalize it or not talk about these things, but there needs to be responsibility, because contrary to the popular belief, talking about entertainment and pop culture involves serious issues about politics and society. If you like to discuss it like me, please subscribe on my channel to support my work and to not miss the next videos. Alongside the allegations against K-pop industry is the artistic delegitimization of idols, something that pop artists usually suffers from. That's because with the appealing to the masses, idols appears to be just products from the agency assembly line. The problem is that this is more of a generalization about how K-pop groups works. The creative freedom is negotiated with the companies in different levels. Groups like BTS contributed artistically from the beginning in different areas, while others such as SHINee conquered that with the company time. Some started as idols and former companies, many left the agencies to work in others. There were lawsuits and negotiations favorable to the idols, all of that to show how different trajectories we already have and that we can generalize or think the idol system is unique to every agency. And I'm not mentioning the tons of independent Korean artists that, in my view, are K-pop. This differentiation between idol and artist is debated among Koreans because of the pejorative connotation given to the term K-pop, but ends up becoming a failed attempt to then not to be related to the criticisms, as K-pop is not a specific type of music and doesn't free them from suffering the same prejudices the idol groups suffer. One certain factor for this overreaction is Orientalism, a concept developed by Edward Said about the Western gaze through the Eastern societies, the Eurocentric perception on the Orient. One of the things that reinforces the apparent artificiality and how absurd K-pop industry looks is because people tend to judge from their perspective, ignoring the material conditions who make the things the way they are, leading to generalizations and simplifications. There is also the term techno-orientalism, which reinforces the image of a culture that is cold, impersonal, and machine-like, an authoritarian culture lacking emotional connection to the rest of the world. Idols are seen as disposable dolls from the agencies immersed in fantasy worlds, and as much as there is a grain of truth, again, there are cases and cases, and this perspective doesn't apply to everyone, as these artists are constantly fighting for their rights and challenging the game of the industry. These expository speeches tend to target the K-pop consumer audience, which is generally teenagers, especially girls. Almost every craze movement such as jazz, rock and roll, and other subcultures were held by young people, with women being an important agent, and this is one of the main reasons why few people take K-pop serious, as if women had little critical thinking to consume such an industrialized art. I also feel some responsibility thrown into the fans, like they are the reasons for the companies exploit the idols because they believe on the enchanted narrative sold to them. Fans are the ones with the brain destroyed. I will not talk about the qualities or the depth of the work because music is subjective and this is another matter. What I'm talking about is the general discourses that influence the personal perceptions. All fan clubs beyond music have stereotypes, and some of them are more legitimized and normalized than others. The way things work today isn't the same as years ago. K-pop artists are continuing to challenge the industry and gaining their rights. New legislations are popping, and out of that has not just support from their fans, but some of this happens by the pressure they make, not to mention how many independent artists are enjoying international career due to the Hallyu stage we are, many of them supported by the fans of some major groups, as it happens in any place. To finish, let's be honest. Besides the engagement to talk about something popular right now, do these people really care about the artist's rights? Or it's not just about power relations, about what is good taste and bad taste? People will talk about the problems of the K-pop industry whenever they talk bad about the music, but they don't do the same with artists in the American and British industry. When they do, they make the division between pop, the lower form of popular music, and rock, the higher form. In summary, the music by the industry and the music by the artist. But notice how utopic this vision is. Beatles, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, all of them highly applauded like they had made all of the work by themselves without any investment or professionals behind, as they hadn't suffered any interference from the social and economic forces we are also bemitted. When the subject is Korean music, the interest in bringing up the industry problems is always much greater than making an artistic judgment of the songs and the performances, a concession allowed to Western pop. There is an implicit message of we should not consume K-pop because it's bad for our culture, it's dangerous for our society. In case I wasn't clear, I'm not denying the negative aspects of K-pop or to say that it's better than another industry, but it's just another industry within the capitalist system that privileges profits and divides people into antagonistic social classes. And to appoint these problems, we need to be careful to not reproduce discourses that are not emancipatory, but prejudiced and paternalistic. That was just a glimpse of a delicate and complex subject I hope to elaborate more on the next videos, and I ask you to comment your thoughts and opinions about this matter. What do you think about the general discourses about K-pop, and how can we change for good? And if you want to listen more K-pop albums out of the box, go watch this video that I brought good recommendations for you. I see you there.